All right, welcome people. I'm in the filthy kitchen. It's not as filthy as it was. It's slowly getting cleaner. I got some cheese here. I'm starving, have not eaten. Gonna grate this cheese. Got the grater, got the receptacle of cheese, and I'm gonna grate the whole block. So maybe I'll even do this. Yes, I know the kitchen is still filthy, but tune in tomorrow or in an hour. Because the plan is as I eat, or I should say, whoa, it just turned 7 a.m. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I did not work last night. I've been up all night, of course. But anyway, before I go to bed, because I do have to work tonight, tonight is supposed to be my night off, but due to the Christmas rush, I have an extra shift, so gotta try to make up for lost time. All those days I was sick, all those days I was off with a toothache, and yeah, so my pay has been very low, but gotta try to catch up. So anyway, I'm gonna grate this cheese. I've got the last 4 slices of bacon in the oven. I'm gonna make me some eggs with cheese. I also put 2 steaks in with the bacon, just to try it a different way. So I've got the bacon in the oven, 350, put it in for 30 minutes, and I also put 2 steaks in with it. I've never done this before. I've never heard of anybody cooking basically baking steaks in the oven for 30 minutes at 350. But if it's good enough for the bacon, I figure I'll give it a shot. Worst thing that can happen is I won't be doing it again. But regardless, I will eat the steaks no matter how they turn out, because I really don't want to be wasting any food. So this is how I generally grate the cheese. It's not ideal. It's very tiresome, tiring, tormenting, but anyway, try to get it in this plastic container and not on the counter, because yes, the counter is filthy, but anyway, I haven't eaten today and I'm absolutely starving. But on a brighter note, I did get quite a bit of sleep today. And on another bright note, I rode the bike for, I think it was 43 minutes, but I upped the intensity on the bike, not with pedaling faster or anything, but you can set how difficult it is to pedal, and I upped it a couple of notches, and I actually did 650 calories. That's the most I've done on the bike since I've been taking note of it. I may have done more back when I used to ride the bike for an hour, but I don't have any memory of whether that's true or not. But anyway, 650 calories, that's pretty good. And I plan to do my boxing today. Also, I'd like to note that my daughter has figured out how to use her texting on the phone again, so that's nice, because when she was sending emails, she wasn't sending them as often as she used to send the text, so I assume it was an additional level of difficulty for her. And you know, I want things to be as easy as possible for her, of course, but mainly I don't want her to slack off and stop doing that, because it really is the only kind of joy I get these days is hearing from my daughter, as I can't contact her, which is pretty funny because sadly her mother has been bribing her that if she's good during Christmas or whatever, maybe she'll get to see her father, which of course is impossible because you know, I'm dealing with a court order So anyway, I don't think my daughter's gullible enough to believe this, but it just goes to show that that's pretty low, that you know, a parent would say such things to their child. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that. It's sad to hear, but anyway, one day maybe in the future my daughter will be able to actually see these videos and realize that, you know, she wasn't forgotten about all this time. I can only hope, but who knows what the future brings. But eventually, you know, she will be old enough to basically make her own decisions, and I can only hope at that time that, you know, she's not turned against her father at that time, but I don't envision that happening, but who knows? Who knows what's possible in this world? I never would have thought half of this stuff that is actually going on was possible, and a lot of the times it seems like a bad dream. But anyway, Christmas is here in a couple of days, and yeah, this will be the first Christmas that I will not have been able to spend any time with my kids, which is incredibly sad and quite surreal. Surreal means dreamlike, and by surreal in this sense, usually when you use the word surreal, although it means dreamlike, or as if it's happening in a dream, it usually refers to a bad dream or a nightmare. You know, surrealist art, such as that of the most famous representative, Salvador Dali. Anybody who's seen his paintings of, you know, this surrealist type art would agree that, you know, it's more the fear of nightmares than of, you know, visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads, as they say around this time of year, for the idea of good and happy dreams. Although I do like the art of Salvador Dali. He was extremely popular back in my university days, where you go to these poster fairs, and of course there'd always be lots of Salvador Dali posters, you know, some of his famous works. And when I lived in London, England, actually, there's a Salvador Dali museum, and you cross the Thames, and pretty close to the London Eye, big Ferris wheel thing they got there, you would see the Salvador Dali Museum, which was quite cool. But Salvador Dali himself, I believe he was Spanish, could have been Italian, but if memory serves, he was an Spaniard. He had that wacky waxed mustache, often curled, often pointing straight up. And anyway, check him out if you don't know who I'm talking about, Salvador Dali. But anyway, I digress as I grate this cheese. How long is this video taking? I'll take a little. Yeah, this video is getting a little long. I didn't realize it took so long to grate this cheese. I generally really hate grating cheese, which is one of the reasons why I do the whole block at once. And I find cleaning the cheese grater to be a bit of a pain in the butt also. But anyway, what can I say? Once this cheese is grated, I will make some eggs to go with the bacon. And yeah, we'll see how those steaks turned out. So come on back here. I will have a second video, not really a part 2. This is a standalone cheese grating video. But anyway, while I was riding the bike today, I started listening to an audio version of Hermann Hesse's Siddhartha. This is a book I read many times prior to listening to an audio version of it. I often like to listen to the audio version of books that I've first read. And anybody who's seen my books, there's a lot of highlighting and underlining and dog-earing of pages and things like that. I really use my books, beat them up, and people who borrow books from me will know what I'm talking about. Lots of different colors of highlighter and stuff like that. But after I've read the book and taken time and reflected on it, I like to listen to the book on audio sometimes. There's certain books that I've gone through over 20 times. Other books only get one read. And some books that I don't really deem worth my time for reading, but that I still want to go through, I'll just listen to the audiobook. You know, a lot of biographies and stuff like that you don't really need to read. Although some of that light reading stuff is nice in doctor's offices and stuff like that. But I usually like to read quite